boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have needed is disaster report for Summer Memories. This game it is developed by a Japanese developer called Gskill, and it is using Unreal Engine 4. And so this is the first time that we are seeing this developer to develop something for the PC and to the Europe and the America. And this is the graphical settings that I'm going to play the game. So it's pretty much 1080p with TI settings and textures set to ultra. So most of the Unreal Engine 4 games runs pretty much like with those settings, at least this Unreal Engine 4, and these are the requirements for the game. So this game recommends you to have a quad-core CPU with 8 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1060 or an AMD RX 580. They say that this is for running the game at 60 frames per second with DI settings. And so I decided to try out with 1080p high settings, and they are absolutely true because the GTX 1650 Super, it is slightly better than the 1060, and what happens in here is that I get an average of 93 frames per second with the 1% low of 63. And if I bump up the graphics to the maximum settings, I got a slightly worse average with the average of 81, and the game does drop below 60 frames per second if I put the game to the maximum. I also tried to play the game at 1440p with median settings, and I got a good respectable average of 61 frames per second with a 1% low of 43. I decided to not try out 4K because I was expecting that with median settings 4K was about to drop from 30 frames per second most of the time, and so I decided to simply not test it out. So what happens really is that if you want a perfect 60 frames per second experience with no drops whatsoever, I do recommend you to play with DI settings. If you want to play with mostly 60 frames per second but you don't care if you get one drop or two, or if you have a G-Sync screen, then you can go with maximum settings, no issues whatsoever. And if you have a 1440p screen, I do recommend you to play with median settings, and it still offers a very respectable performance above 40 frames per second and keeping around 50 to 70 frames per second most of the time. So that's the performance that you can expect for this game. But I mean, what about the game? What is this? So Disaster Report 4 it isn't really exactly a new game. It was initially released in 2018 and it had a really troublesome development. So despite it was available during 2018, it was a PS4 exclusive, and not only that, it wasn't also available on Europe or America. This was a Japanese exclusive, and so it wasn't really available worldwide. 1 year later this game was released on Nintendo Switch, and by now, in 2020, these guys decided to give to a publisher the rights to publish this game worldwide, and so not only this game got available worldwide for America and Europe, it also got its PC version, which is obviously what I'm testing in here with my GTX 1650 Super. But this game, it is quite interesting because despite I never played any of those predecessor games, and it seems that it isn't really handled by the same developer. Some people actually complain that this game features less stuff than the predecessor games and also half-baked games, so it doesn't felt like it is really well polished. But yeah, I think I understand that because the developers are not the same as the old games, and so it might be a little bit complicated when this happened. Because if you remember Mafia 3, it actually happened the same thing, because the Mafia 3 developers are not the same as Mafia 1 as Mafia 2. And when this happens, I do understand that might be complicated to get the same experience from the old games when the developers are different. But I mean, this game places you in the epicenter of an earthquake, and earthquakes are usually happening in this game, and they are quite scary because every time you enter a building, if this happens, you shit yourself to get out of the building because you are afraid of the building to fall off. And in fact, you can actually die because stuff are always falling down. I mean, on the roads like lamps or any regular object like a signal or even buildings. So anything can kill you, but most of this stuff is more focused in your decisions. So you're pretty much going through the game with people to help and finding people and people telling you about their problems, and you respond what you want to their problems. There are a lot of stuff going on, and in fact this game, despite it looks quite interesting to me, I mean it feels great because I never played a game which places you in the epicenter of a disaster, where you play as a regular person and not a superhero or something. Despite it looks awesome in that regard, I think the execution of the game might be a little bit bad, because if you read some reviews across the internet, you will see that the score of this game, it is around 30 to 50%, so it's not really great. But if you go to Steam user reviews, you'll see that a lot of people actually it is enjoying the game. But there is a really big issue with this game, which is its price. I mean, this is quite bad. These guys are charging $59.99 for this game, and clearly this game doesn't deserve that money. I'm that type of guy that I was willing to buy this game possibly if this was $19.99, for example, or probably even $29.99. Despite the game it is bad and probably doesn't worth it, it is a much more realistic price for the game. But I mean, $59.99, this is a AAA title. This is the price of Red Dead Redemption 2, and clearly this game, it isn't a Red Dead Redemption 2, far from it. So clearly for me it doesn't deserve the money, and this is one of my main issues with this game, because apart from that and apart from the users, most of the users actually enjoy the game. And despite it is not really a killer game or a great game, it is really a nice experience if you want to experience what it is to be in the middle of an earthquake, playing as a regular guy. Alright, you are no hero, you are here to see and hear about the stories and accompany other characters to safety. And your objective throughout the game, it is just get out of this city, because at the beginning of this game they really make it clear that you are in this city for the first time. And how do you feel if you just gone to visit a new city to get a job and suddenly this happens? How would you respond to this situation? And that's the experience these guys wanted you to have. And in fact, if you have a VR kit, you can actually play this game in VR. But honestly, I think with Half-Life Alyx, nobody cares about this game for VR. Alright, so guys, that's all. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
憧れの先生になれたのはいいんですけど、生徒とどう接すればいいのかわからなくて、私は一生懸命生徒のためを思っているつもりなんですけど、この仕事向いていないのかな。ごめんなさい、初対面の人にこんな愚痴を聞かせてしまって。
いろいろ大変だけど、お互い頑張りましょうよ。
そうですね、頑張ります。さっき見つけたのは2人って言いましたよね。もう一人生徒がいるはずなんです。探さないと。
おい、そこの兄ちゃん。
怪しいやつだ。
悪いな、人を探してる。この辺りで俺くらいの背だけど顔に怪我をしてる黒い T シャツの男を見かけなかった。
今そこを走っていきましたよ。
逃げ足の速いやつだ。
地中があんなに。面接始まっちゃってるじゃない。
外の方が素晴らしい。
初めてよ。
見てきたけどビルが倒れてすごかったよ。